Hey, thanks for volunteering for me today. So you are running the sprint and distance races, which is a ribbon event. So when the kids come to you, just pick one random girl and one random boy to do rock paper scissors back to back, just one and done. And then whoever wins, ask that person if they want to have them go first or have them go second. So if like the boy wins rock paper scissors, ask the boy, hey, do you want the boys to go first? Or do you want the boys to go second? Whoever chooses, so let's say the boy wins and he says he wants the boys to go first, have the boys line up between the two cones, just kind of on like the start line, and then just have the girls kind of sit off to the side in the shade of the tree or whatever to kind of stand by for their race. So as the boys are lining up for their race, and you can give this direction just one time to the boys and the girls, this is typically something that I will say. I'll say, okay, guys, remember, try to run in a straight line. This is just a simple down and all the way, or from the start all the way to the finish line type of race. So it's not down and back. You're running as fast as you possibly can. You're trying not to bump or elbow or hit shoulders or anything like that. So just try to run straight. You should have lots of room. And then the top three kids will win a ribbon. So make sure you run all the way through the finish line. I'm usually by myself when I practice, and this is good for the DHH kids too. But however you want to work it, you can have somebody at the finish line. But these are the signals I'll give. So if the person at the start line wants to do this, that's fine. But you should probably have a couple volunteers ready to go at the finish line with ribbons, like ready to go to hand to the kids. So this means on your mark. This means get set. And then I do this, that means go. That way a lot of our deaf and hard hearing kids can just kind of watch you and then go. So top three boys, top three girls for each of the sprint races. After the boys take off, you can already line up the other set of kids ready to go on the start line. And as that first group finishes and gets their ribbons, they can kind of sit off to the side and wait for the next group, which in this example would be the girls, to come down. So you'll run both of those sprint races. If the finish looks a little too close to call, definitely don't hesitate to do a tie. I try not to as best as possible just to conserve ribbons. But if it's like you just really can't decide, you can just do a tie. Hand the ribbons, have somebody on standby to pin them on, and you can spend the end of the sprint race time as the kids are kind of resting to like pin on ribbons, help congratulate the winners, kind of check the vibe on the kids, like, hey, how did we do? Even if they lost. I'm trying to teach the kids like it's okay to lose, but just to have that good sportsmanship either way. So now they're done with the sprint race. They got the ribbons, and now it's going to be time for the distance race. So this one, since you're already set up at the finish line of the sprint race, instead of walking all the way back, here's how the distance race works. So it'll be the same style. Whoever ran the sprint race first is going to run the distance race first. So you would have them line up at the finish line of the sprint race, and now they're going to head the back way. So they're going to go from the finish line of the sprint race back to where you started, but then they're going to go all the way around one of the cones, doesn't matter which cone. So they're going to run all the way down back to the original start line, around one of the cones, doesn't matter which one, and they're going to run all the way back to where you are. So it's basically like a double sprint race. So that one is the distance race. That's how that one's going to work. So for K1-2, have them just go down around the cone and back to the finish line, a down and back distance race. Just have them do it one time. For the third, fourth, and fifth graders, you're going to have them do that two times. So they're going to run down to the original sprint race start line around the cone, back to the finish line where everybody's kind of collected, and then back again, and then back to the finish line. So it'll be kind of two loops of that instead of just one loop. So that'll be the big difference, third through fifth grade as compared to kindergarten through second. And then after that first group goes, you'll have the second group go just the same as before. And then you'll award ribbons again, top three runners in each group. So I think that about does it for the sprint and distance races. This is one of like the primetime events. If there's any time left over at the end, I can't imagine there is. But if there is, you could just have them race again, or You could challenge them to a race or whatever, just kind of make it fun. But honestly, they'll probably be pretty tired, so they can also just hang out in the shade. And also, you can just, again, chat about sportsmanship and how it went and things like that. So, yeah, but yeah, thank you. I'll be around if you have questions.